Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to, obviously, your morning update show, bright and early. If you went to bed early last night, if you missed out on what happened, I'm going to fill you in on everything that's gone down because there was quite a lot. Along with the Euro news, we had big news coming out regarding Ugarte as well. Scott McTominay now looking like he's the man that's going to make way. We're going to go into details on what's happening there, along with everything else. I'm going to give you guys a chance to get your comments in on this morning show as well, because doing a show last night and giving you the updates there, and then coming across to this morning trying to cover everything that's actually happening with Manchester United, it's gone absolutely crazy. And last night everyone was just completely blown away. So we're going to do a full-on catch-up of what's going on. Make sure you give the video a like, guys. Let's get another 500 likes in on the morning show, bright and early, out on location again for you guys, giving you all of the updates on your way to work, school, whatever. We've got you covered. We're going to get through absolutely as much as possible in this morning show before I go down for my breakfast anyway. So let's get into what has been a crazy one. Let's be honest. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, by the way, guys, so you're not missing out on any of this free, brilliant content. I'm not bigging myself up there at all. I'm just going off what the chat's saying because they're all in really happy mood at the moment. Maybe it's because Manchester United are making serious moves in the transfer window. What is going on? 8 o'clock last night, Man United announced Lenny Yoro, number 15, signed, sealed, delivered, done. We don't even have to mention the name again. I can't believe it's only been a week of negotiations for that one to get finished. It's done, it's out of the way. Then we're thinking, right, okay, now let's see what happens with selling players. Maybe Aaron Wan-Bissaka will be the next news. Maybe Victor Lindelof will be the next bit of news. Updates on them in this show as well, so stay tuned. But no, last night it was Ugarte, Fabrizio Romano, coming out and saying Manchester United have agreed personal terms with Ugarte, complete agreements in place, wages, structure, everything. He's happy to play with no Champions League football, has committed to Manchester United. If he moves, he's going United. Now, PSG and Manchester United do need to negotiate the price and where they're at. I do have an update I want to bring up on this. This is coming from the French side, from L'Equipe on this one, which reads, in terms of Ugarte, I'm going to get it up now, that Manchester United are in agreement with Ugarte on personal terms, but in terms of what's happening between themselves and United, Ugarte, this is the actual quote, has agreed in personal terms with United, but the positions of the two clubs aren't aligned yet. PSG want up to £59 million for him, which Manchester United don't want to pay. They are instead considering a loan with an option to buy. This, after last night's news coming out about the personal terms agreed. Now, Fabrizio Romano made it very clear that it was just personal terms that were agreed last night. No agreement between the clubs. L'Equipe have come in this morning and give us the update on that. And we were all wondering, like, how can Manchester United move forward so quickly after signing Lenny Yoro, when the news coming out from The Athletic, from Fabrizio himself, from Florian Plettenberg, from Sky, everything like that, saying Manchester United need to actually sell players now to go forward with any more transfers. And all of a sudden, bang, instantly after signing Yoro, United have agreed personal terms with Ugarte. Are they confident that they can get this loan deal done? Are they confident that now Manchester United have a way forward with Ugarte? Because we're thinking, and we were saying last night, that Manchester United look like they're just pushing in on PSG now because they're going for João Neves. And that deal looks very close, according to all of the same sources we've just mentioned then. But where's Manchester United's money from? That came into Scott McTominay. And Scott McTominay was talk of the town last night simply because of a message that I got. And then 5 minutes later, Fabrizio Romano said United are pushing to move on Casemiro and Scott McTominay. So I was like, the hell is actually right with what he said here? But he just said to me, first quote was, watch out for Scott McTominay leaving. According to people at Manchester United, he is talking like he wants out of the football club. Now, obviously, we haven't got a new contract offer in place for Scott McTominay. He's not been offered anything new, and he has to weigh up his options. It's a big decision for him. This is the big part of his career right now. If he isn't getting that big deal, let's be honest, 60 grand a week for Manchester United for a homegrown player doesn't seem like a lot. Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo are going to be on the same money as Scott, who's been at the club for years. He's looking now, 27, last big move, last big contract. Can he afford to hang around at Manchester United and hope for another season that he's going to get that big deal next year? because that's when he's out and he's done. And Manchester United are saying to him, look, you're not going to get that big deal. They probably are negotiating a deal for him, and we've heard from TalkSport that United are open to giving Scott a new contract, and that won't be a lot. So Scott McTominay, yes, last night we thought was actually going to be the link to getting Ugarte in. That's kind of switched again overnight, like late last night, and with what the keeper's saying this morning. And United want to loan Ugarte with an obligation to buy, which will be probably of the higher end in price if we're going to negotiate it that way, because PSG, we know, need the money. They're going after João Neves, who is high in value. Obviously, we know what Benfica are asking for. We know what Benfica wants. So PSG need that money in. Can they structure a deal themselves? They have got money to spend without selling Ugarte, obviously, but they would have liked a little bit more in the bag before going in full on João Neves. Obligations to buy, yes, they work, and they work well for Manchester United. And again, this will be proof that Manchester United structure with Omar Barada, Danash, with Wilcox, Vivel, they are doing overtime right now and are proving to be the best signings Manchester United have ever made. And I'm not saying that lightly as well. It's been fantastic. The signing of the century has been Dan Ashworth for me. And Barada on top of that, that's just icing and cherries on top of a very well-made cake right now. The structure at United, behind the scenes above the manager, is superb. They're looking to get into the obligation to buy because next season, this is why there's so much pressure on Ten Hag, by the way. There's so many subplots to everything that's going on in this transfer window. All of this is great for Ten Hag, but it all heaps massive amounts of pressure on them. An obligation to buy next season, Manchester United, what are we going to have player-wise to try and sell next season? This is the summer that United have all of the players available we can sort of get rid of and get money in. We are solely reliant on getting back into that top four and into Champions League next season. And obligations to buy next year obviously come into play if United do make the Champions League, because it is a shed load of money that you get from the Champions League, and Manchester United will invest all of it straight into putting straight into players and bringing them the squad up to strength even more. So what the keeper's saying, obligation, loan, I didn't see that one coming. I don't think anyone did. And we obviously all started assuming that Scott McTominay was the one being pushed out. Scott McTominay being pushed out, not so much pushed out in terms of, I feel like saying pushed out is like United are saying you have to leave. It's not so much that. United are doing it subtly and saying, look, you're not going to get that big contract at United. It's going to be something similar to what you're already on. And if you want to move, the door is there. The people at United, and what I was told, are in what Scott McTominay's demeanour is, how he's talking. If the right offer comes in, and he isn't jumping ship, because he's a Manchester United fan, we said this all along, he's not jumping ship. He is just there weighing his options up and saying, look, if that right offer comes in, it's right for me, we will make the move. Galatasaray were brought into the conversation last night. 30 million euros is too much for them. They're still negotiating with Manchester United. They haven't given up on Scott McTominay. Bids from Fulham are expected in as well. West Ham are looking to buy N'Golo Kanté. That news has just come out now and are fully invested in bringing him back to the Premier League. So N'Golo Kanté back in the Prem at West Ham. Kind of takes Scott McTominay away from the West Ham situation. So let's forget them. It looks like it's Fulham, Galatasaray, they're the teams. There was a rumour about Everton, but with obviously Anana leaving them, that's come about. Some people have started talking about that a little bit more as well, whether they'll go in for Scott McTominay. But as it is right now, Ugarte, loan, option to buy, and Scott McTominay open to offers to leave Manchester United if the right offer comes about. Don't think necessarily that Scott McTominay is going to fund any move for Ugarte though. United don't want to pay the fee that PSG wants, and that's why L'Equipe coming out this morning saying that United and PSG are far apart in their valuations for Scott McTominay. So where we're at is loan for Ugarte. Scott McTominay could fund something else, i.e. another defender who's on hold, Matthijs de Ligt. That's who Scott McTominay could be funding. United are being very clever. And the more you look into what Ineos are doing and what this new regime and structure is putting in place right now, the more impressed you are. honestly blown away. Watching and looking through the comments on social media last night of what's happening and Lenny Yoro being done, and then instantly, bang, UGARTE. And you've got the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester City, Arsenal still not making one signing yet. United are deep into negotiations for their third signing already, and pre-season's been officially going a week in terms of players being back. So moving very fast, and everything is looking good for Manchester United. In terms of the players that are supposedly going out, we're expecting updates on Pellistri as well to come through. Who is going to buy Hannibal? Two players that will definitely be sold by Manchester United this summer as well, and haven't been thought about or put into the reckoning for how much money Manchester United can recoup going into this going to the back end of this window. We talked last night about Tony, we talked about Chiesa as well. Right now, Manchester United are happy with Jadon Sancho just playing out the rest of pre-season and seeing what comes around. So yes, it's a case of use what's left of the window in terms of the big players. The smaller ones, the smaller deals, we definitely can get more out of. Guys, give the video a like, please. Let's get up over that 300 mark while we're live at least. I've asked for a simple little 500 likes right now for this video, so please do give the video a like. We'll get most of them hopefully after the video is finished. Everyone is playing catch up. Where does the time go? The morning shows are the best, aren't they, honestly, right now. I can see you guys in the chat as well. I'm just going to quickly run into some of your comments. It makes a change, United getting players in so early in the window. It does. The last time I've seen anything early like this was when United brought in, what was it, Ashley Young, Phil Jones, David De Gea. I remember that. We just won the league and we ended up going out buying 3 players really quickly. Time for Scott McTominay to get his bag too. Screw the United glamour. He got to start thinking about himself and his family, because he is no way getting a significant rise in money staying at United. No guarantee in game time either. Where does he see himself with his game time? That's what all of these players are going to be thinking about now. You've seen that clearly with Lenny Yoro yesterday. And more details that came out about Manchester United actually offering Lenny Yoro a bit more game time with everything going forward into the season. So yeah, that's how they're doing it. It brings up the conversation again regarding what happens with Matthijs de Ligt if he comes in. And I think this is all just what Manchester United have to balance now. And thankfully, for Ten Hag anyway, he's got people above him which are going to back him in this. So yeah, I'm confident that with Lenny Yoro coming in, he'll get the right time. You can see in the way he's talking how he's blown away by the approach of Manchester United. George Mendes as well. By the way, guess who UGARTE's agent is? Yes, it's our man again, like we said yesterday, George Mendes. He is doing double time for Manchester United right now. And you know what it's like? Vival and his contacts, Ashworth with his, Omar Barada with the way he operates. You had big agents in that, like Kia Joorabchian and George Mendes. Then it's a recipe for Manchester United being ahead of everybody else. Point proven, this summer so far, Manchester United, 2 big signings in, already improving their squad beyond what it was last season, and everybody else falling behind us. This does not happen. It does not happen, and goes to show exactly what having the right people in place does for Manchester United, especially when we do need to catch up, and we've got so much ground to cover to get back into that top 4. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think we'll get more news going forward. We were hearing about the 18 to 20 million bid that was going in from West Ham. Lopetegui definitely wants him. I think we can say this one safely. With Aaron Wan-Bissaka looking to move to London rather than go to Galatasaray, who we knew were in for Wan-Bissaka as well, his preference is staying in London. So Wan-Bissaka to West Ham. Lopetegui wants him as his top target. He's happy with that move down there. United not valuing him too highly. I think this one you can safely say is a done deal soon enough, because you're not going to get anyone else come in for Wan-Bissaka, I don't think, in a better position than what West Ham are right now, is what I say. Glenn C has been 2 months a member. I know they're professional footballers, but if Scott and Wan-Bissaka goes, do you think that will impact Harry and whether he decides to go too? I think impacts on players and their decisions whether to leave Manchester United with, say for instance, like Maguire, like you said there, Glenn, and him having 1 year left. I do think it will impact. It's like, don't get me wrong, like, you can see a changing of the guard here at Manchester United. And a lot of these players have been very comfortable with the surroundings and what's been going on over the last 5 years at the football club. I'm not blaming them for the way that everything has just gone, but you naturally drop your standards. You naturally start to get comfortable in your environment and what's actually happening. Like, this is the actual norm. And I feel like McTominay going, Aaron Wan-Bissaka going, a good core of the British players going as well. I'm not saying that's going to put Harry Maguire off, but Manchester United's movement in bringing players in is what will make players leave, I feel. And if United bring in another centre-back after Aaron Wan-Bissaka goes, then Harry Maguire is going to be thinking, geez, they've got a right back and still brought another centre-back in when we've already got 4 here, including myself. Yeah, I think it's time to go. I think United are making moves around players to convince them that they do have an option to leave. And they're not going to get the game time anymore. There's no guarantees. I've said it before with just on the Harry Maguire one. United, like we said yesterday, are more and more open to moving Maguire on. It's simply to get the players in that they need. And Harry Maguire with Gareth Southgate, I know this sounds a bit crazy, but when you think about it, it makes complete sense. Southgate now not having that England job and retiring from duties there, he was a nailed-on guarantee, Harry Maguire. Now, looking at that last World Cup, that's Harry Maguire's last international tournament. If he stays at Manchester United, Harry Maguire will not play in USA 2026 in that World Cup. That's my statement. I don't think he will. I don't think the England manager will look at him. He needs to be playing. He needs to be playing consistently to get into that England side now. And I don't think he is at Manchester United. And Ten Hag has made it very, very clear to Harry Maguire that you're not going to be getting the same amount of game time as you did last season. There are other players in front of you right now. And I think he was hoping, Ten Hag, that would push Maguire out of the door. But we will see. He's a stubborn man. Again, Maguire is a Manchester United fan. This is a hard decision for players like Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire to leave Manchester United. So it's a real difficult decision for them. But I do believe that we are going to see, I think we're going to see sense prevail in all of this and the players' professional side of things take over. I think Scott McTominay will go and Harry Maguire, I don't think will be far behind him. I'm going to say right now, 6 players guaranteed to go, I think, going off the noises and how Manchester United are operating is Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Scott McTominay, Hannibal Mctominay and Aaron Wan-Bissaka will all leave Manchester United. I think that's the aim of the football club. I think they get enough money there. I've not even mentioned Jadon Sancho in all of this either. So I think that's what the club are aiming at. Thanks for the 250 likes, guys. For well over 1,000 people in the room for a morning show. I think we can definitely get a lot more. Let's get that over 300. I only asked for 5. I think we're going to get 700 or 800 likes in this video. I'm absolutely loving everybody getting involved in this morning show. It is the quick fire show. We usually round it up around about 20 minutes. So I'll try, for anyone who's just watching right now or just tuning in, this is what's happening right now. Last night, Fabrizio Romano dropped the news that Manchester United fully agreed personal terms with Manuel Ugarte. Manuel Ugarte wants to move to United with Champions League football not on the table, no problem at all. The clubs are far apart in their valuations. Romano did say this was only personal terms that have been agreed, nothing else. L'Équipe have come out this morning and just added a little bit extra to the situation by saying Manchester United are not looking to buy Manuel Ugarte this summer. They're looking for a loan with obligation for next season. Where that fits in with PSG and them wanting to buy Neves, we don't know from their side of things. Manchester United know they're in a better position for Ugarte as a permanent deal next summer, but if they can still get him in now, fantastic. Then moving across to Scott McTominay, who we thought last night was the reason why Manchester United were going in for Ugarte so quickly after announcing Lenny Yoro and everyone's saying United now needed to sell players. That is still happening and he's comfortable moving if the right offer comes in. That's the word from people that I know at Manchester United anyway that have been saying, and Romano has said United are looking to move Casemiro and Scott McTominay on. They're the 2 options for him to move on to make money to buy players in. That's not Ugarte. Man United don't want to pay the fee that PSG have put on Ugarte. They want to loan him and then negotiate again next summer. A loan with an obligation to buy means it'll probably be a higher fee, but hey, if we're in the Champions League, I don't think we're going to have a problem with that, and I think that's sensible football business. Guys, that is everything that's going on. I'll be back at 12 o'clock with more, as you guys know. well over 1,000 in the room. In fact, 1,100 people in the room is amazing on a early morning show, a quick roundup show where we go over everything that's happened overnight and early in the morning. I'll be back with more updates and yet more details at the 12 o'clock show later on, guys. So please make sure that you are tuned into that as well, just as we pass over the 300 like mark as well, guys. That is absolutely epic. What an attempt from you guys. I'll be back at 12, like I said. Thank you, everybody. All your comments, I can see them all coming in. Get them in the comment section now, and we'll go get some breakfast, and I'll have a look over all of them and see what you guys think. There's a lot to talk about, isn't there? Oh, it's exciting being a United fan right now. But, guys, thank you again. I'll see you all later. Like, share, and subscribe.